My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, and I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today, we're talking music, because it's the end of the year, and it's almost Christmas time, and it's winter. It's been snowing, for me anyway. I think it snowed for all of us at least once.
Yeah.
For you, Sky? I mean, like, mine was little, but there was
I
visible
feel like
white
mine
on the roof.
I had snow probably like 3 weeks ago once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did too.
Speaking of winter, we have two things on the agenda for today's episode. One, I don't know if you were aware, but if you listen to Spotify, it's that time of year again where Spotify shames you with all the things you've been doing on Spotify.
It really outs you out.
Spotify like calls you out for what you've been doing this year.
Imagine if MDL did that.
It already kind of does.
But you have to like search for it.
Right.
Like your Cocoa would be like, here's what you actually have been watching. This is not what you just put into my top list.
Oh, let me tell you, if like Netflix did this, I'd be like, okay, it's
Netflix would be like,
I'm done. I'm out. Ooh,
yes, I did watch Criminal Minds again. Stop it.
Like, I don't need this kind of negativity in my life. All right. So we're going to talk about that because we all had very interesting things on our list and some confusion, I think. At least I have some confusion with some of the things that happened. And in addition, we want to talk about winter music, winter albums, which are two different things, but are intrinsically linked as one. So I think we're going to start with the Spotify.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I had some expectations for what I was going to see. So I know that this year was the first year that I started using monthly playlists for new music that I liked and whatever. And so, in general, I've listened to just a lot of different music and a lot of different artists and that stuff. So I was assuming that would somewhat show up on my Spotify Wrapped, which I mean, it kind of does. But for me, it didn't break into my top 10 songs or whatever. Like, my Spotify Wrapped didn't show really much variety that I actually listened to. I actually had a huge variety of what I listened to, but it didn't show that very much, which is fine. But like, I was kind of hoping to see a little bit different, but I was like, oh.
Well, I think that just like plays into the like fact that your faves are your faves and you do actually listen to them more than like anything. So even if you're like very like you branch out, if you're branching out and only listening to these like branched out things a couple times, even if you only go up to like 10 times on your fave, that's going to be the number one thing.
And that's fine. It's totally fine. I just figured because the entire way I used Spotify changed this year, like throughout the entire year. So I thought it would reflect at least a little bit, and it just really didn't. But I mean, because of the way it's built.
I started it on this wanting to know, like, where will Panic at the Disco be in my list? Because last year they were number one, and they were knocked out. They were still in my top 5, but he was Brendan Urie, my dude. You were knocked down a couple slots. But I'm also really confused because Panic at the Disco was my number 3 artist this year, but on the 100 top songs, there wasn't a single Panic at the Disco song.
Oh, that's weird.
So I'm like really confused.
Did Panic have any 2020 releases?
No, but
no.
The
But it doesn't matter. Yeah, that doesn't matter.
It's just the songs that you listened to in 2020.
So not a single Panic song ended up in the top 100 for you.
Not a single Panic at the Disco song.
I will say this, you know how they like always have like your on repeat playlist that you can always listen to? It never actually reflects what I actually have on repeat. There'll be legitimately songs that I listened to 30 seconds of and went away because I didn't like it. and it will be on my repeat, and I'll know for a fact, I'll be like, I literally listened to that one song like an hour ago like 14 times, and I can tell you straight up that I did that, and it's like not reflected on any of those things. So I wonder if like that playlist is just kind of a random assortment of
when I went through the top 100 for me, a couple of them were like, no, these are just recent ones. Like, I could tell just a couple of them, I was like, that really shouldn't be there. Like, I could tell, so.
Yeah.
I've got songs that I don't recognize at all in mine, but I kind of recognize the names of the groups and stuff, but know that they're not mine. But we got one of those Google Nest hubs this year, and my youngest, because they are under 13, is not allowed to, like, Google won't do a voice recognition for him. So when he wants to listen to music, it'll still give him music. It just gives it to him on my account. So these are his favorite songs, and they are peppered throughout my top 100. So I have Panic at the Disco on my top 100.
Well, you've been blessed then. You've been blessed.
Do we want to like start at the very beginning, like, and just like we just gonna like really just like out ourselves? We are gonna tell you what Spotify data compiled for us, even if it like it shocks you, even if you're like, oh man, that person has no life.
So the first thing that they do is how many new artists you discovered this year. Isn't that the first thing that popped up for you guys?
Yeah, that's the first thing that popped up for me.
So who do you think has the most new artists this year of all of us?
I'd say like maybe Sky, if she's like, this is her first
branching out. That's
like,
true.
But I don't know.
Well, so before we talk about this, one thing I will say is I am not good about checking out the like release radar stuff.
Yeah, me either.
So I think that affects the numbers a bit too, you know, because I think
probably.
if I was also branching out in that respect as well. So I guess like we can go reverse order, I guess. So for me, I had 215 new artists this year.
Okay.
I had 331.
Okay, I had 323.
Okay.
Amanda?
How many did your kids have?
627.
Oh shit! Girl!
So between
I do listen to my release radar.
You're all into the
tend to skip, and this year they've started, like, Spotify's like, hey, you like a lot of rap. So they're throwing a lot of rap at me, but like explicit rap, like a lot in my release radar, like 10, 15 songs every week. And I'm like, I've never heard of this person. I don't mind a couple of swears from somebody I know I like. I don't need to learn like new people who are giving me stuff I don't want to listen to, you know? So like I just skip those, but like it'll come up, you know, if you're just playing, it'll come up and then I'll be like, no, don't ever play this for me again. I don't like that song. And so obviously they're counting all of that as people
also,
I discovered, you know.
Don't you, and you haven't had premium Spotify this year, correct?
I have had it this year.
Oh, you did.
I do have
it. Okay. Because I remember back in the day, like when I didn't have it, and they would kind of put songs in.
Yeah.
So that was.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, you had your kids' songs too.
Yeah, and that's true too. So I've also got, you know, all these
Panic at the Disco,
pop, you know, stuff, and which
listen, man, Panic at the Disco
songs,
is the tits.
It's just like,
I love them. They're great.
I'm looking at the list and I'm going down and I'm like, the who with the what now? Like I just okay, sure. And then if I click on it, I'm like, oh, it's that song. Okay, yeah, sure, but not, you know. And I also apparently went through a big hey, like we did a big cleanse out and I cleaned out a whole bunch of, like, I had boxes of CDs and stuff that had like 1 or 2 songs on them that I liked. And I was like, I never listen to these anymore. And I bet they're all on Spotify. So I went through like all my, you know, teen and college CDs and added all of that stuff onto my Spotify. So there's a lot of those on there.
Oh, I bet that uptakes
it.
Yeah. So, but I do also listen to a lot of like indie stuff. So like I noticed that when it comes to like your favorite song and you're like, some of them you're like, oh, you listened to this one like 5 times, but it's in your top 100 because you listened to apparently 627 different people. So like that means you listened to like one song.
New people. That's new people. That doesn't even include the people you already listened to.
Right.
So next for me was the genres. So it tells you how many genres you listen to and how many new genres you listen to this year.
I would love to know the like percentage of new genres that Spotify actually put on their site too.
I feel like there's a lot of real specific genres.
They're very random in their stuff. Like in general, there's a lot of like crazy specific genres in music, but like sometimes they put genres for people that aren't actually, especially when they're not English speaking. I've learned that they're not good with that.
No. Although I think like last year at the wrap up, I remember seeing lots of like the English stuff. They went super specific. So there was like
bedroom
music or like groovy bedroom music, R&B bedroom, you know, like it's like
all the different genres of fucking music. Like,
well, yeah, like it's like more of like those are like sub genres too, and like they're fine for like reviewing music, so like people get like a sense of what type of music it is without even having to hear it. But like in terms of like a Spotify thing, I don't think it matters that much.
Like when I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's not that many genres of music. Like, I'm sorry, Spotify, but like, no. Like,
or like I saw that Jesse had mentioned on Twitter, like it's not good about, like you said, with the non-English speaking. So like J-rock, it's obvious they're not saying J-rock, they're saying J-pop.
Yeah, they really don't like J-rock. It's like Visual K or like metal, but they like really love to keep people into J-pop. Which is like there's some like blurry lines, but then like doesn't separate boy group and girl group J-pop versus like someone like Aimer, who is like pop, but she's more singer-songwriter, but she would be labeled as pop. Like Sakaya no Owari labels themselves as a J-rock band, and they're always labeled as like J-pop.
So how many genres did we all listen to?
I think I probably was on the low end is my guess for you compared to you guys. I got 54 genres.
New ones or
31 new ones.
Oh, okay.
Oh. But that's like percentage is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to 241 genres this year. Including, which is why I had a little like moment, because including 54 new ones. So when you said 54, I was like, what? Oh.
You say that because I listened to 169 genres, including 54 new ones.
Whoa! Amanda, are you gonna break our streak?
Do we need to play the lotto tonight?
I am. I've got 242 genres, and 136 are new.
Beat me by one. I don't
know. I couldn't even name 136 genres. So
it could have come from like your kid and what you put in on CDs.
That's true.
Those two, because that would have been English speaking.
It might have been like, as opposed to putting all the stuff I listened to in high school and stuff in as pop, it's probably like 80s pop, and it's like 80s R&B, it's 80s
classic
like
pop.
Probably, you know,
classic
indie, 90s band, 90s
elevator pop.
I would like to see that list. Like, I wish they would give you that list. And here's the genre. Here's the top like 25 genres, or the top 5 new ones that you listen to. So you'd be like,
well, it does make you curious. Like, even if they didn't have it within this little slideshow, it'd be like, well, here's a link if you want to go stare at it.
Yeah, like, see, you're like detailed. So what was everyone's top genres?
Well, so K-pop,
K-pop.
Is everybody K-pop?
And the number one for all of us? Le shock, le surprise, le gasp. Did not see that coming.
So here's what I'll say. I won't be cutesy and make you guys guess this. So my number 2 is K-pop boy group. I'm like, did that really need to be broken out? Was that really necessary?
Wow. Okay.
All right. My number 2 was just pop. Just Just pop, just general.
My number 2 is J-pop.
My number 2 is K-rap, Korean rap.
Mm-hmm.
Or crap, as
That's rough. That's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
That's rough, buddy.
My number 3 was K-indie.
Oh, nice.
Mine was, this one actually confuses the hell out of me. Because my number 3 was apparently modern rock. Listen, I didn't think I listened to that much, but okay.
Is Panic at the Disco modern rock?
No,
I
that's
don't think
clearly
it would be.
pop punk. Maybe they count.
I think they'd be in one of those weird subgenres.
Maybe Miyavi is modern pop. I listen to a lot of Miyavi, so
he would probably be J-pop, honestly.
Yeah,
and this
I know.
would probably be J-pop.
But like if they were combining it with like some of the other stuff I listened to, maybe he got shuffled in somewhere. I don't know.
Maybe also
maybe
like
they double tag
collabs
people.
and they just like kind of pick, like if you do a collab with like someone who's like American pop, like it pushes more into that. I don't know.
And I also do listen to a lot of Paramore, so that could also.
Oh yeah, that might work. Yeah, my number 3 was K-pop.
I've got Korean R&B, so.
So K-rap again, Redux. All right, number 4.
J-pop for me, but I'm pretty sure that's J-rock or J-bands.
Mine was electropop.
Ooh. Would that be Panic?
That might be.
That might
That
be.
Sometimes.
That would, a lot of the times, yes.
I'm gonna look it up.
I think also like a lot of the other stuff I listen to, like Fits and the Tantrums, I could see them being electropop. Mishkat, I could see her being electropop. Dua Lipa.
Yeah, because like it's like the Ting Tings. There's Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Kylie Minogue, Postal Service. My number 4 was alternative metal, which surprises no one. My list really didn't surprise me.
Mine really didn't either, except for modern rock.
I had a few surprises, but yeah. I mean, my number 4 is pop. But again, that's probably the 80s
the old stuff
and the, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my 5th one, this doesn't shock me, but anyway, the fact that this is even a label is interesting. Korean super band.
Okay.
So,
which I mean, we all know that there's the show Superband. I still haven't even watched it. And I understand that some of the K bands that I listen to are definitely from that show specifically. But it's interesting that,
like, do they possibly mean like big K-pop acts as that genre? Like, it could be banned in a more general sense.
Maybe.
Who knows? The mysteries continue. My number 5, I honestly thought was gonna be like my number 2, which is indie pop, because I listen to a lot of Western indie pop. In addition, it's K-pop and Western indie pop. Those are my jams. But yep, indie pop.
My number 5 was modern rock, which is again
very welcome.
I don't lie to you on these podcasts about things that I like.
My number 5 did surprise me. Apparently, I've listened to a lot of CCM this year, a lot of Christian contemporary music. I will have to say part of that is the worship leader at the church. I suggested that she make Spotify playlists so that like when she introduces a new song, if we've been listening to the playlist, it won't be a new song because I'll already know it, right? So then I felt like, I suggested it to her. I should probably like follow it and listen to it. So it's a nice playlist. So, it was nice when I was at the trailer and stuff, but
useful.
I'm surprised. I didn't think I'd listen to it that much, but
now we're getting into the part that is going to be fun to guess for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like the one song. The way they did the report this time is like, how did they say it?
The one song that helped you get it through it all.
Get through it all. And you know what? Like, legit.
Legit. I was like, actually, though. Spotify, you're right. You are.
Like, Spotify, you ain't wrong. Because the song that picked for me, I won't say what it is yet, but it came out literally the day that I found out that I was stuck in quarantine at my coworker's house. So yeah.
Okay. So let's all guess.
Okay,
so should we start with Skies first then? Or
go for it. Okay. I don't think you guys. Well, I'm not gonna say anything else. I won't say anything else.
Okay, so with Sky,
I literally have no idea.
It would I want to say Astro, but I'm actually thinking that maybe it's not Astro. It's gonna be throw off, and if it's not Astro, then it might be an 80s song.
Ooh, I could see that. Yeah.
So, do you want me to tell you now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Astro.
Okay.
It was Astro.
And it's When You Call My Name, which I know you guys won't know off the top of your head. But that is the one that they did a cutesy stage their last comeback.
Yeah, okay.
It was, it was kind of the second song during their promotion stuff, and it's when they wore all the cute outfits, and it was a very cutesy, fun song. So the cutesy got me through this year, I guess.
Apparently. Hey, that's legit.
Yeah.
Which definitely during that promotional period and a bit after, I did listen to that. I was streaming that song a lot, so of course, so it is reflective. Have I listened to that song a ton this past month? Not necessarily, but if it pops up, I will listen to it.
Yeah.
My number one song is on my very regular rotation.
So,
okay.
I want to say Chen.
I would either see, I won't remember months of when things released.
My guess, Taemin Want.
That was pretty high up on the list.
This year?
No.
Okay,
it doesn't matter if it was this year.
Yeah, it didn't have to be.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yes.
But no, it wasn't Taemin Want.
But I was thinking maybe a Monster X song.
Monster.
One of the English songs.
I'm trying to think back.
Somebody.
She said it came out when she found out she was quarantined.
I know. I tried to do that, but I was I'm not in the mental state to remember those types of things.
For instance, I can't remember when Jackson's 100 Ways came out. I wouldn't be able to tell you what month that was.
Well, I can tell you it was March 23rd because that was my number one song of the year.
Well, there you be.
There you go.
Which, if you had to guess, just this is for the listener's benefit. If I had to pick, across the board, a song that all of the Noonas really, really enjoyed all year long, and we would bring back up to each other, I would pick that one for this year for us.
Sure.
Except I've listened to it maybe 3 or 4 times. I've never listened to it as much as everybody says I listened to it. So sorry guys.
I've apparently listened to it tons. So
Jessie.
I would say it's a Day 6 song.
Day 6 song.
Afraid.
What's that one?
Afraid by Day 6.
Is that what you all guess?
That's my guess.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. If Spotify had YouTube views into it, Afraid probably would have won. Afraid has the problem of it being it came out a little bit later, and I started listening to Sungjin's demo more, which is only on YouTube. So there you go. It probably could be close, but however, you were right on Day 6, and it's Finale.
Oh, I should have known. I should have known Finale.
So close, yet so far.
Amanda. Oh, well, I'm cheating because you put some of your stuff on Twitter earlier today.
Yeah, that's true. I did. Which
I wasn't on Twitter earlier, so I have no idea.
I'm not going to answer.
I think I remember what it is, so I don't want to answer it either.
So to tell you,
give me some hints. Was it rap?
No.
Was it? Oh.
What is the song that she recently has talked about a lot?
I would say that it's like one of my favorites of the year as well, too. If it's the one I'm remembering correctly.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I can give you a little bit more guesses.
Give me some hints.
It wasn't 100 Ways.
It wasn't 100 Ways.
I was super surprised that one was like much lower on my list than I thought it would be.
Black and White.
Black and White.
Black and White.
It has a cameo in the music video.
This is so unhelpful. I don't watch music videos.
Well, you should for this
he
one.
only had 2 songs come out this year.
Wait, was it the other Jackson Wang song?
No.
No.
I could give you a big hint. He's usually a video producer.
What?
He's part of a collective.
Why is none of this helping me? Like, I feel like my brain's just like, you fucking idiot. And as soon as somebody says...
3 letters and 3 letters.
There's like an acronym for their name.
Is it PH1? Help me! I'm so
There
dumb!
is a P in it.
Shall we put her out of her misery?
Oh my gosh.
Please.
Yeah. Yes.
So we'll start. So he's from DPR, so that explains the whole collective.
Cameo is CL.
Yeah.
He is Ian, or his real name.
Christian Yu.
Yeah. And then the song is So Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest, would have never gotten it. Never would have gotten it.
So I was sure it was like, I mean, I already was working on my own top lists for this year, and I kept saying it's either So Beautiful by DPR Ian or it's 100 Ways by Jackson. And then like 100 Ways is like 57 on my list or something. I'm like, what? Like what?
Yeah, some of the ordering confuses me because some of these songs I'm pretty sure I haven't listened to as much as some of them, yes. But there's one in my top 5 that I'm like, you sure, fam?
Yeah, same.
Well, on my total streams, I'm pretty sure I've listened to this song more than my total stream says, too. So, but I also wonder, like, maybe, like, some things don't, like, count. Like, if you're, like, not on internet and it's a downloaded thing, or, like, you know,
Maybe.
we should just out ourselves, like, on the, like, specifics of these songs. You could say the dates or whatever, but, like, mostly, like, it says what your song is, and then it says your first stream, the day with most streams, and then 100 stream, and then total streams.
I never got my total streams. It ended on the 100th stream.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Well, I didn't hit 100, so I only have the total. I don't have the day of 100 because I never hit 100 on mine.
So I'll say about mine, my top, the Astro When You Call My Name song.
Mm-hmm. Good song.
I have only streamed it 30 times on Spotify. Which, so that goes to show you my top song list, repeating list. Like I talked about my variety that I've been listening to more on Spotify. I have streamed, I mean, that's still a chunk because I usually did not listen to that song on repeat. I listened to it within an album, which is what that's, if you look at my top 5 or 10, it's obvious that I listened to a few albums on repeat. So 30 is not that many, but when you were doing it within an album, I mean, it's a chunk, but nothing compared to, 50, 100. So I thought it was kind of funny.
So yeah, my 100th stream was in November, but I've definitely streamed it more than that. But also, I watched the music video a bunch because it is one of the few music videos that I did take the time out of my day to watch because it was so good.
My total streams are 203, and I'm positive it's more than that. Positive.
Yeah. My total streams are 87 for So Beautiful. But like my first stream was October 26th, the day it was released, and my 50th was like 4 days later, 5 days later. So.
Yeah, see, that's what it just does.
I listened to it a lot that first week. So.
Like, the first stream was on the 2nd of January, but
I also watched the video for that one a lot, too, because...
Right. I love with mine, it was like, apparently I went ham on 100 Ways the first day it came out, because it's like, first stream, March 23rd, day with most streams, March 23rd. Hi, Sam, go off.
I will say that, like, with the finale, it technically came out as, like, a solo single, and then it came out on an actual album.
Oh, yeah.
So there might be a chance that, like, my streams were split.
Yeah.
And so it just picked the one.
That's true. Could be even higher.
I know it is. I'm going to out myself. It's definitely higher than that.
I've definitely listened to 100 Ways more than 100 times. Like,
whatever. I like what I like.
Exactly.
We're not gonna look for anyone's validation. So what was on the rest of everyone's top 5 list? Because I got one real confusing one.
So for me, like I just explained, my top 5 is obviously so it's 2 of the albums that came out this year from my alts. So like this isn't shocking whatsoever. So my top song, like I just said, it's When You Call My Name by Astro. Second song is Goblin Favorite Boys by Ace. Third song is Somebody Like by Astro. Fourth song is Golden Goose by Ace. Fifth song is Knock by Astro. So it was the Gateway album by Astro and the Butterfly Fantasy album from Ace. So it's obvious that I streamed those a lot, and those were my top. So
my number 1, obviously, 100 Ways, Jackson Wang. My number 2, I don't remember listening to this song that much, so I'm not sure how it became number 2, but it's apparently the song Warmth by Bastille. Who knows?
It could still just be carried over, because last year I had a lot of carryover from other years.
Well, it's on, like, a playlist I listen to, but, like, I usually, like, skip through. But anyway, whatever. The next one, I definitely did listen to it a lot. It's Oh My God by G Idol. Love that song. Then the next song I can also say, this was me, which was About Love from Marina Diamandis, Marina and the Diamonds. Great song. And then number 5, I can attribute TikTok to this one. It was Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. Good song, though.
It's a good song.
It's a good song. And I just need to point out that my number 6, which you can only find if you go to the playlist, was actually one of my favorite songs of the year. And it's the song SLUT by B. Miller. You should check it out. It's really, it's not as sexy as it sounds. It's a really cute little song. So, that's a little recommendation from old Natalia.
Okay, so all of my top songs are day 6. And it's actually very telling. Okay, so here, like, this is where it actually, like, I can see where Afraid is in terms of things, because it's almost, I have this, like, playlist that I have, and it's, like, my top songs and my favorite album, which is the Unlock album. And so it's the thing that I play the most. And usually it's, like, something that I play while I'm doing something, so I don't get very far into it. So basically it is the in order the songs that are on this playlist, except for Afraid, because Afraid is like one of the last songs before it gets into the unlock part, and I usually like always just like go straight through and not just like shuffle it or whatever. But so okay, number 1 is Finale, number 2 is Letting Go, which is my favorite title song. I really like that. Number 3 is Afraid, number 4 Cover, and number 5, it's The Times, I Need Somebody.
So I've only got 2 artists, like Sky, I've only got 2 artists in my top 5. So I've got DPREN, So Beautiful is number 1, DPREN, Zombie Pop is number 2. And then the next 3 are all Hash Swan. They're all from the Silence of the REM album. They're the first 3 songs on the album. So probably very similar to like what Jesse said. Like definitely the first one, like number 3, Teenage in Closet, is my favorite song off the album. So it makes sense. I definitely played that one more than the other 2. But then what's weird is that the other 2 are in reverse order. So like number 4 is 5 More Minutes, but that's the 3rd song on the album. And number 5 is I Love You Even When I Smoke, which is the 2nd song on the album. So it's a little weird that those ones are, and I probably would put I Love You Even When I Smoke higher. Like I would have thought that I'd listen to that one more, but I like it more. I'm not surprised by any of this because, you know,
yeah, I'm not
back
surprised
in the beginning of the you know, pandemic, I basically just listened to that Hash Swan album on repeat for a lot. So, but obviously it being, you know, like 8 songs long or whatever, put all the songs and stuff lower on the list than like DPRE and having 2 songs.
So there was a section of the Spotify Wrapped stuff this year that, I mean, I don't know what you guys got, but I think the way I've seen on Twitter and what I got, it's as if it would try to ascribe some title to you.
Yes.
Be it Pioneer or Tastemaker or there was like
mine is really pathetic. Like I need to point out that
your title is really pathetic.
No, like the reasoning for it is like they stretched. They were stretching.
That's why I'm bringing it up. Like I think it's for me it was a very weak it's something that didn't need to be in my Spotify Wrapped whatsoever.
Yeah. Same.
So like, okay, for me, it was, they called me a pioneer. And you listened to Somebody Like, which that was a single from Astro. I listened to it before it hit 50,000 streams. Next up, Finding the New Millennial Pink.
I don't know what that means.
So I think that's Pink the artist.
No, that's not what it means. Millennial Pink was like the color of the year. So if you had known, like, so it's like you're in the know.
I thought a blue was the color of the year.
Well, like Millennial Pink was a color like a couple years ago. So it's like, it's referencing being like, you know, ahead of the trend.
I sure didn't know that.
No, me neither. I'm like, I don't know what Millennial Pink is, but I got the same thing. You're a pioneer because you listened to Teenage in Closet before it hit 50,000, and I'm like, all right, I guess, okay, like
achievement of any sort.
Yeah, like I get the ones that are like, hey, you're in the like top 1% of like streamers for this person or this song. Like, okay, that's cool. I want to know that, but okay, I listened to that song before anybody else did. Like, whatever. Like
before it hit 50,000 streams.
Yeah, like it's like even if it was like you listened to it before it hit 100 or 500 or something, you'd be like, yeah, you were like right there in the beginning kind of thing. But like 50,000, especially when you're talking about some of the groups that we listen to that don't have, you know, like the BTS numbers or whatever, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm sort of like, are you saying, like, have they hit 50,000 yet? Like, I don't know. Like,
it's really not that hard for a lot of them, you know? Like,
yeah, see, mine didn't show any of that. You
just
had to, like, go through.
Mine said I was an influencer because, okay, are you ready for this? Because 10 of my playlists gained a total of 28 new followers. Week. They were all my yoga playlists. Every single one was my yoga. No, it was my yoga playlist and the playlist that I make for writing my fan fictions that Janaya follows. Not Janaya, that Joy follows.
Joy follows. Yep.
That's it. It was Joy and my yoga people. That was it.
You're an influencer.
I'm influencing Joy and the yoga people. That's it.
That sounds like a band, Joy and the Yoga.
Joy and the Yoga people.
Joy and the Yoga people.
That's interesting that you didn't get that, Jessie.
Like, I didn't.
It came right after the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's
I don't listen to podcasts on Spotify, so I didn't get anything from the podcast.
well, I did get a thing before podcasts that I'm a good listener. Feel free to show it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, is it playing again? It's playing again. Stop it. Okay.
I was surprised. My top podcast, I listened to 14 episodes in one day. I was like, oh, but that was when I was sick and I was like bedridden and couldn't open my eyes or watch, like I couldn't read and I couldn't watch shows or anything. And so I found that Bits Before Crits, which is like storytelling podcast. So I just listened to a whole season because it was a good story.
I found it. Okay, so I am a tastemaker.
Oh!
And it
Tell
says,
us why.
5 of your playlists gained 47 new followers.
Ooh.
Please use responsibly.
Oh,
now let me just tell you why this happened, because I know I know definitively why I had all those new followers. Because I'm a weirdo and literally have a place on my blog that's for Juan Pill's playlist, and I have a Spotify playlist that's all of his V-Lives where he did his playlist. Yeah. And that has given me a lot of followers on that playlist. So,
okay.
I am big in my day.
You're a Juan Pill tastemaker.
So the next thing is how many artists we listened to this year. Was that data that we talked about earlier? Let me go scroll back.
We talked about new artists.
So, well, no, that was, so that was, you discovered X amount of new artists this year. So it was artists that were new to your Spotify. That's what that was when we talked about it. So this one is just how many artists you listen to. For me, it is 292.
For me, it was 1,028.
Wow.
768.
Don't have a screenshot of that one, so I'm trying to
find it. I think
it
came after your top artist.
Yeah, it did.
Okay,
for me, it just right before we started, I screenshotted the order that. For me, it was right after the Pioneer thing. For me.
Yeah. Oh, because did you have a top decade? Because I had the top decade.
I had a top decade as well.
I did. Screenshotting that. I did. So let's talk about the top decade thing. I can do it from memory because I went through this thing enough.
Yeah.
There's no way we're going to be able to guess for that stuff because, like... So I'll say what mine was the 2000s. Was my decade.
And what was the top song from that time?
Specifically, it was the John M. Perkins Blues by Switchfoot, which is so John M. Perkins, he was a civil rights leader and stuff. It includes some of the stuff that he said. So during this year, with a lot of crud going on, I listened to some of that. So
mine was also the 2000s. And my top song from this era was the song Beautiful Calm Driving by Sia. Chill song, man. Chill song.
So mine was also the 2000s. Can you tell we're all like born around the same age? And it is exactly what I told you in that one episode where I told you my favorite song of all time, Helena by My Chemical Romance.
Yay!
I'm very straightforward in these things.
Mine was, I am a decade older than you guys, and mine was a decade earlier. So mine was 1990s. And it was a Lisa Loeb song. I can't remember which one, but it was the Lisa Loeb song.
I listened to a lot of Lisa Loeb.
I apparently did too, also
but
this
not
year.
On Spotify.
So
that's kind of the tricky thing, because for instance, how I do watch a lot of music videos, even from the past and stuff, like, you know, there's a lot of music listening that happens not on Spotify.
Yeah. I did find how many people I listened to. Let me see, where did it go? I listened to 1,351 artists.
It's gotta be like.
Well, I'm like, if I started listening to like 600 new people, there has to be a pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It then brought up a little quiz where it showed you 4 artists and asked you which one do you think is your top artist. So,
which is like, come on. I mean, everyone listening to this podcast already can figure out mine.
In case you're new here, it's day 6.
Yeah, the answer is day 6. The answer is day 6.
Wait till next year when all 2 p.m. is actually like out of military. Then it's gonna be.
Oh
boy.
So I actually got that quiz part wrong.
Oh no.
I did too. So
Spotify was like, I know you better than you.
So artist-wise, okay. So like I explained earlier, my top artist was not listed in my top 5 songs.
Same.
Oh.
So do you guys want to guess who my top artist is then?
80s.
Switchfoot.
A Switchfoot.
In Flying was my top artist.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
And then when it told me about that, my favorite song of theirs was Awesome. And I spent 1,281 minutes listening to their music.
So, for me, mine was actually a surprise. I really thought it was going to be Panic at the Disco again, like last year, but it wasn't. But then when I did find out who it was a lot less surprising. It was Monsta X, and my favorite song of theirs was Love You, and I do love that song. So. And I apparently spent 1,982 minutes listening to them, which I very quickly calculated. That is 33 hours of listening to Monsta X.
Nice.
Did you? Okay, on both of you, did you get the like what percentage you were in listeners?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yes, I did. I was the 0.5%.
Okay.
So apparently I'm really into Monsta X.
So for In Flying, I was 0.5% as well.
I know you're like 0.1. I know you, Jesse. You were their number 1 fan.
I'm like their number 1 fan. Yeah. So yeah, I am 0.1% day 6, and I've listened to 11,384 minutes.
Oh, Jesse!
How many?
Jesse,
did you calculate how many hours? How many hours?
I had it once.
Jesse. Okay, 1 second. How many?
11,384. And then finale is the number 1.
Oh, Jesse. You listened to them for 190 hours. 1 second.
Oh my god.
You listened to them for 8 days of this year. That's more than a week, Jesse.
It's so good. I earned that 0.1%.
You very much did.
Oh, fun times.
So my top artist is The Solutions, and I was in the top 0.005% of their listeners this year.
Wow.
So, okay.
Sure.
That's very specific. And the top song, that one surprised me, was Love Again, which I did not think I had listened to that much. Like, it's a fine song. And I've listened to it for, I listened to their music for 4,176 minutes. Hours, not hours, minutes.
You had a playlist of them that you would just put on and leave, right?
Yeah, so like I'm not surprised at all that they're that high in the list because I did. I had a playlist. I've got a playlist that's just every single song The Solutions has on Spotify, and I downloaded it, and then when I was at the trailer, that's pretty much what I listened to. I would listen to it while I was sleeping. I would just have it on repeat. So like, yeah, I listened to that playlist a lot.
what I kind of find interesting is that the song that they said I like the most from Monster X is not the highest song by Monster X on my top 100 list.
Oh, I didn't.
That is weird.
Check that.
Yeah, because the top song from Monster X on my list is Middle of the Night, and then Love You is like 5 down from that. So I'm curious. Spotify. We have questions.
Love Again is my highest for the Solutions, but
yeah, for me, Awesome by Infline is just my number 6. It just barely missed my top 5.
I wonder if it's literally just your top songs and it actually doesn't mean number. Maybe. It's just the top songs.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, but it has like the ones that it says were my top 5 are in the top 5 spots.
Yeah, mine too. So that's why
we have questions. Spotify, we need to know your methodology.
Yeah.
Coming up with these.
We want the data. We want the hard data.
I'm not surprised because like the number 6 song on here for me is Ride Home by Ben and Ben. And like I only just discovered that song like a month ago, but I listened to it on repeat, just that song, like a lot. So I'm actually maybe surprised it didn't beat out some of the Hash Swan stuff.
No, my top 5 is exactly what they said my top 5 was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then my number 6 is like one of my favorite 2 p.m. songs, Higher.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Which
so what
makes
was everyone else's top artists? They give you the old top 5.
So
literally no surprises on mine.
So for me, number 1 was Infly, number 2 is Astro, number 3 was ATEEZ, number 4 was Ace. Number 5, no one is gonna ever guess, because I wouldn't have even guessed it. It's Cozy Pop. There was one day, and this is why I'm like, whatever. There was one day that I was reading a book, and I wanted to have some kind of background music on, and Cozy Pop sounded right, and so I just went through all their little albums and stuff. So then I guess I literally only did that one day, and it wasn't even an entire day, it was like just a couple hours in the afternoon or something, but whatever.
Get you every time.
I will say, I recommend it. It's very good music. I mean, but I wouldn't, given the fact that I really only did that once, I was like, wow, okay.
It's also weird because I always find the Cozy Pop ones odd because like they're not an artist. Like it's like a compilation of artists, right? So like you've actually listened to like 50 different people, but like they're all on the compilation.
So my top 5, literally no surprises if you know me. Literally none. Number 1, Monster X. Number 2, ATEEZ. Number 3, Panic at the Disco. Number 4, Taemin. And number 5, Day 6. Those are pretty standard me if you know me,
Yeah, my top artists are pretty standard. My 5th was like surprising, but not actually surprising if I think about it. So number 1, Day 6. Number 2, 2 p.m. Number 3, Dreamcatcher. Number 4, Monster X. This is literally pull this from my bio. It's like it. And then my number 5 is Nell, which I tend to listen to Nell playlist a lot. It's a good background music, and I really do like Nell. So I understand why Nell would be number 5 in the grand scheme of things, because they're also one of those like groups that have like a ton of songs, so you can like have a playlist on for a while.
So I've got number 1, The Solutions. Number 2, Hash Swan. Number 3, DPR Ian. Number 5 is Monster X. And then number 4 is The Outlier. I did not see this one coming at all. Lisa Loeb. More specifically, Lisa Loeb and the Nine Tails. So, like, early Lisa Loeb, not even new Lisa Loeb. So, I was like, really? Are you sure, Spotify? Because, like, I feel like I listened to a lot of Janet Jackson this year. So, like, I'm like, if I was going to have, like, a 90s voice, an 80s, 90s female soloist, I figured it was either going to be Janet or Whitney. But, like, No, I got Lisa Loeb. So apparently I was in my college fields one day and like just.
Well, that's what surprised me about Cozy Pop showing up on mine because, for instance, you know how you've seen, especially last year, people would have, oh, well, this is the meditation or sleep music that I'd listen to or whatever.
Mhm.
So I did have a go-to like sleep song that I liked. It was just an ambient noise thing. So I was kind of wondering if that was going to pop up to like be my weird outlier thing. But no, Cozy Pop that one day. I'm like, okay, don't count the like sleep thing that I listened to like a bazillion times. That's fine. Whatever.
I feel like that's like Lisa Loeb. It was like one day that I was just in a mood or something. And so I just went through. I think the release radar put something like she had a new album come out and put that on. So then I listened to that and then I was like, oh, I should like go through and listen to all the old stuff too. And so, yeah, it was probably like one day and then.
So anyone listening to this podcast who's a K-pop Lisa Loeb fan, you need to follow Amanda. Like that very specific niche. Say, did you guys get the like the minutes listened? It's on the like wrap up one, like the one that says your top artists and top songs.
Oh, the very last thing.
Yeah. I don't know if that's beneficial for listeners.
I listen to music all day if I'm working from home.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine is 11,243.
I listened to day 6 more.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Mine was 52,265 minutes.
Wow.
Mine was 48,261. I've
got 39,103.
So I need to play more music, is what it comes down. So
now we spent an hour and a half talking about.
Well, we like data here, okay?
We do.
We do. List the data. I would like to just throw in quickly that we do also have a Certified Noonas Spotify account, and there is a 2020 list on there. So it is very, very varied. There is a lot there. Like our top genres were K-pop, Korean R&B, K-rap, chill R&B, and J-pop. So if that sounds like a variety that you'd like to check out, go check out our Spotify and look at all of our crazy mix lists because we all like a lot of things. So
yeah, as you saw, while we have a lot of things in common, we also have a lot of things that are different.
And we might not talk about this a lot on this podcast, but we also do have a Certified Hump Day playlist, which every Wednesday, we each pick one song that we're listening to or that we want to pick that week. So it's a really nice variety throughout the entire year. So it's pretty good as well.
It's a good list. I listen to it when I'm doing stuff on the computer, and we have good taste.
When it comes to winter, what about a song or music in general makes you think, oh, that tends to be a winter type song?
I like songs that make me feel warm and cozy because I'm freezing all the time.
I think so too. I think a lot of like it has that like Christmas vibe to it. Like there's like some chords that are like traditional in Christmas songs, and also like the use of like, you know, bells or like triangles or symbols more, kind of get that jingle bell metallic sound in the songs. It kind of works. And you do find that a lot of the songs I like go to are very ballady.
I find kind of when I hear something that sounds a little more, maybe not all out choir really, but maybe a lot of harmonization of voices, like heavier harmonies, or because it can be in one song, kind of like a grandiose soaring. I know I talk about soaring voices a lot because I like them, but when there's harmonies and it's kind of this grand song that way. I don't know how else to say it, but to where because when you think of not necessarily Christmas carols, but when you're at a performance of Christmas songs, there's those couple of Christmas songs that are very that. So
I actually like really, 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 really hate most Christmas music. I don't know. It's just I think I like more like stuff that people would associate more with fall stuff in the winter, like sort of that warm, cozy, like cafe vibe,
Mm-hmm.
But I know of the music you speak, the Christmassy vibes. I'm not a big Christmas person, so.
Well, to me also like for winter specifically, there can be a song that sounds kind of crisp to me too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Broadway in winter. I really like musicals in the winter. Like there's just something nice about them.
Randomly, I'm just gonna say this in general. Jingle Jangle has really good music in it. It's a new Netflix show.
I have not been able to convince my kids to watch it yet. They're like, Mom, it's not Christmas yet. I'm like, ugh!
It's December 2nd.
We're watching Christmas movies.
I just
tie
put
them
up
down
my
and make them
Christmas
watch
tree, so that's the extent that I'm getting into the spirit.
The music in that show has a couple of the songs have a nice African vibe to it. It's just very different music. It's just so you definitely have some of kind of the broad, the musical aspects, but then also just some very different sounds, which are great.
I remember when I was growing up, Mom would always have she had Barbra Streisand Christmas. I have PTSD from that album. And she had
all she played.
Oh, she had Frank Sinatra Christmas, Barbra Streisand. She had 4 Christmas albums, but I was always please just play the Nutcracker Suite, because we had the New York Symphony Orchestra's recording of Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker. I was like, can we just listen to that? And Mom's like, it's not Christmassy enough. I'm like, it's literally a Christmas monster.
Come on,
Ma.
It was just
Barbra Streisand.
Oh.
We do what's that show? I'm now
Funny
blanking
Girl?
on it. No, the David Sedaris. He has a Christmas, the elf. It's about an elf in the department store. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember it? Anyways, we do that show every year. Well, when Job is there and whatever. One of the things that has in it we had for decoration is that we put a lot of Barbra Streisand stuff, and I'm the Photoshop graphics person of the shop, and so I had to come up with a ton of Barbra Streisand pictures and Christmassy stuff, which is very weird because yes, she did do a Christmas concert, but guess what Barbra Streisand isn't?
Christian.
Yeah. But it also had to be he's very flamboyantly gay, and so it's gotta hyped up and worships Barbara and so now I just have mental pictures of having to go through all these different pictures to find the right one for the
So you have Barbra Streisand PTSD too.
Yeah, essentially.
A little bit.
But not because of her voice. Do we have songs that would combined make an ultimate winter album that represents the Noonas?
Every year up until this year, because they've been busy, EXO's been putting out their annual winter album nonsense.
So you don't even like a lot of songs,
and
right?
I don't. But it's
she's I'm gonna put them on our new
they're my boys. They're my boys. I gotta be I may not like Christmas music, but I know there are people out there who do. So EXO's out here just killing it on the Christmas album game. They're doing. The other one that I really like is this isn't K-pop anyway, but the soundtrack to Love Actually is always it's a good one. It's a good one. Great movie. Great movie.
We're not just talking about Christmas necessarily. I mean, we're talking about winter too.
Well, I've got a good like Christmas one for Natalia that like I guess works for you, because Epic High did one called No More Christmas.
That's true.
And it's very like mellow and emo, and I mean good because it's Epic High, but it's definitely talking about like, you know, it being a sad Christmas.
Well, I'll give one to Natalia too then.
We're all just gonna give her
all giving it to me. We're gonna give her full Christmas spirit.
Well, you didn't give a specific song.
Winter. Clockwork by Taman.
That's yes.
Oh, you don't like that song?
I said that's a good song. Yeah.
I've got a song for Sky. It's technically actually not like a winter song or a Christmas song, but it sounds like it. It's a Day 6 song because, you know, they're my fave. And it's called I'll Try. It's wonderful. It's the one that you might have seen like on Twitter a lot, the clips of it. It's them doing all their vocals on, because they have a spot they do an acapella, and they all split up in their different voices. It's really good. It's like essentially like Juan Pill's love song to his grandmother, but
what a sweet baby.
I know, he's the sweetest, and it's like essentially like he is who he is because of her love, and like it's very sweet, but it's got a Christmas vibe too. You listen to it and you think Christmas even when it's not a Christmas song or a winter song.
I think if we're going with like trying to make a Christmas list for the Noonas in particular, I think I would really want to put on the All I Want for Christmas by Park Bum and Lehigh, because we love Park Bum and Lehigh, so we, you know.
That's a good one.
And it's a good version. It's a nice version to listen to, so I like that one.
A song that combined with the music video, but really the song by itself, it eventually makes me think of Christmassy things, despite it's not a Christmas song. Above the Time by IU.
It's such a good song. I love it so much.
And for those of you who haven't heard it, so it's a really good song, and there's a part of it that it kind of changes into more of an orchestral situation.
Yeah, it's more of a folky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of the first half of the song doesn't have that aspect to it, and then it builds up to have that part. Another one that I Melted by Acmu. Which also, at any stage of them performing that is always great as well. Like, so good.
I also have Junho's Winter Sleep.
That sounds good.
It's a good one. It's kind of like more about just like the winter and like kind of sleeping off things, and it's probably one of my favorites of his solo work.
Nice.
Sounds appropriate for this winter.
Yes.
Yes. Sleep it off.
I haven't listened to it a whole lot, but CM Blue had their comeback album since, first album with the three of them since they got out of military, and they've got a song on that album that I like. It's called Winter Again. So it's a nice song. I like that one.
Yeah.
I really like that album. It's a really good album.
It's nice. Short and sweet.
Okay, there is a song. I can give us a song, okay? Another one of my sweet children did make a winter album. Lay made a winter album in 2018, and there is a song on it that I quite enjoy called Can You Feel Me? I will recommend that for your list. It's very...
Our list? We're not excluding
you.
In
general, for your, just in the royal you. No, it's just, if anyone wants to check it out, it's a good one.
I also have another one that like a lot of you will actually know. You may not get it right off the bat, but like if you are a fan of Goblin, which I know a lot of you are, Soyu, who is part of Sistar, had a song and it's called I Miss You. It's one of like the first songs that really got me into her, but it's like it's a really kind of like, it's a ballad and it's very sweet and kind of like, it works because Goblin, a lot of it's set when it's like snowing and it's got, I don't know, it just feels wintry.
Yeah.
That soundtrack is so good.
It is such a good soundtrack.
It is.
Like that Channel and Punch song too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I have to say, I was mildly disappointed that GOT7 had an album come out this close to, the winter, Christmas, and there was nothing on it that was Christmassy, because they do kind of that Christmassy, wintry kind of vibe really well. I really like Miracle, which isn't Christmassy exactly, but it kind of, like you were talking about, the bells, or like sometimes there's just a song and you're like, okay, is this Christmas? I don't know, but like it feels like it's Christmas. So put that in my list.
There was, I think it was last year for Astro. I'm not putting this on the list necessarily. I'm just talking about the bells thing. So Astro came out with a single last year around Christmas. I think it was like the day of Christmas, the day before. It was just Christmas version of Merry Go Round, and they just put like jingle bells in it. I mean, it was very cute. I mean, I think there was a little more to it than that, but it's the same song. Like, and then later they released the normal version of it without the jingle bells. Like, I mean, it was nice that they released it early and stuff. It was very cute, but I'm pretty sure it was just meant to be without the jingle bells. You can kind of tell when that happens sometimes.
I will say in the like not at all Christmassy vibe, but definitely in more of a like kind of like depressing cold winter vibe. Which, being from Canada, that's my winter experience. Off the new BTS album, V has a song called Blue and Gray, which is kind of the winter color, and it's kind of a depressing it's a really pretty song. Like, it's very chill and very mellow, but it definitely has a very like, it's January and I'm cold and I'm stuck inside and I'm haven't seen the sun in 3 days kind of feel to it.
Today Standing A came out with a new single, and it's kind of got a winter vibe to it. Have you heard it yet?
I haven't heard it yet.
I haven't yet.
I haven't actually listened to it not with the music video, so I'm kind of clouded by the music video, and the music video is very much two people camping, and it's definitely cold out.
I thought you said Standing A for some reason. I was like, I don't know who they
Standing Egg. It's Reminisce.
Yeah, Reminisce.
Title. It's definitely it's got a good winter vibe to it, because it's I think it's actually a really good transition from autumn to winter type song. If a song can do that it just does it.
Yeah, it's standing right
I can't even describe why it is that way, but yeah, it's a good one if you're looking for a new one.
Mm. They do no wrong. Standing
Oh
Egg.
yeah, no, they're great.
And they're very interactive on social media, in case anyone, they appreciate, on Instagram, on Twitter.
That's nice.
They'll find you and they'll either like you, not all the time, but they're kind of interactive. It's nice.
That's cool.
And when I watched their music video earlier, I was like, oh, it didn't have as many views as I would have thought. Amongst us, it's everyone likes Standing Egg. Everyone should like Standing Egg.
Very
They're
nice
chill.
and comforting. Yeah.
along that same lines, there is somebody that I've been listening to a lot lately. His like I don't know what his real name is, but his like stage name is Ocean from the Blue, and he's very like R&B, but like very chill, like. And his new album, it just has a total wintry vibe. Like even just the cover is like a girl in a sweater, kind of like just curl. It's got that. It's called like Love Fi 2020, but it's just the whole album's just really kind of like this chill, like, oh, just put that on and have it in the background. And he's got an actual like kind of Christmassy song from a couple years ago or something too, but like just that whole album, I was like, oh, this is all winter music. Like, okay, maybe not all. I think this like the single off of it, Flying to the Moon, is a little more like upbeat and kind of, but everything else I was like, oh, this feels like cup of tea by the fireplace, like just reading a book and music in the background.
Nice.
And he's similarly, like, he's been on his Twitter a lot more lately, which is kind of cool. It's nice when you're in like a small fandom and they're actually interacting with fans. And stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool. It's nice.
I think it's really cool, especially when they go out of their way to talk to you as an international fan, and they're not. They don't, like, I don't feel like they need to talk to me in like English and like, like come for me, but I think it's like very, like, it's neat. It's like nice when they're like, hey, I appreciate that you thought of me.
Yeah. I think it was like the first week that he like opened his Twitter and he was like, hey, I'm here. And like, people were like, oh, cool. And then he had this Ocean from the Blue had a radio interview or something. And he posted a selfie of himself that he was going to do this radio interview. And he was wearing like braids or something. And like immediately like fans were like, dude, no, like not cut it out and like not with the braids. And he immediately took the picture down, posted an apology and was like, I had no idea. I will do some reading up and I will do better in the future. Thanks for letting me know. And then just
that's the best way to deal with that,
right? Like I was like, oh, thank you. Like that's it. That's exactly what we want from like people. Don't get defensive. Don't get angry. Just be like, oh, okay, now I know, and I'll do better.
That is fair. I was out of ignorance, and now I know.
I was very pleased. It's like, oh, thanks for not disappointing me.
Yeah.
So we good with that list as our winter, the Noonas winter OST.
Winter playlist.
Playlist.
And if you have a winterish song that you would like to let us know about, hit us up.
Please do. Yes. Because you can
share
hit
with
us up
the world
on our social media, because we have several social media platforms, but we are mostly on Twitter. All of it, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, all the jazz. At CertifiedNoonas, all one word, you know how it is. But hit us up on Twitter. That's the easiest way to find us. And, we're on there quite often. And if you want to, check out more of our stuff, you can go to our website at CertifiedNoonas.com, where all of these episodes are, and they're also have all the links to everything that we talk about and everything. We've got quizzes, we've got merch, we've got blog posts, we got all sorts of stuff going on over there, and we love having you over. If you're really into these music things, you should really go check out our Instagram at CertifiedNoonas on Instagram, because Sky she does the mostest with keeping us all up to date on the newest releases from all of the Asian
with
entertainment world.
Screenshots.
Listen, she spends so much time trying to get the perfect screenshot. You do not know the amount of work that goes into trying to get a single friggin' screenshot.
They listen to me whine about it periodically.
Yeah. No. We listen to you, express your frustrations because we're friends. So that's what friends do.
The groups need to pose so I could get a group picture, dagnabbit. That's all I need.
All we're asking for.
That's all I need. Without a stupid filter. No more stupid filters. We don't need.
It must be nice when it's like a soloist that you can just be like, oh, finally.
Yes.
I can take any shot I want from this.
Yes, and there was definitely, like, last week, for some reason, all the girl groups, like, oh, we're going to put these weird, shiny, blingy filters throughout the entire music video. It's like, no, stop. And it's because they're all doing the retro-y thing of the 90s or whatever. Or even disco, definitely the disco stuff. It's like, cute, stop. Like, you don't need to do that anymore.
Adorable. Please stop this right now. Please.
You all look fuzzy now. Stop. Like, don't do that.
And thank you for listening to us once again, for sticking with us through these turbulent times. We love, chatting with all y'all. And if you want to keep, the lights on, as it were, and become an official sponsor of the Certified News, you can go to ko-fi.com/CertifiedNoonas to become part of the official Certified Found family. That, we have a good time. We have a good time over there on coffee, and we love everyone who supports this podcast. Anyway, we hope that you're staying warm. Don't forget your scarves. Don't forget your masks. Don't forget your hats. Don't forget your little mini mitts so you're not touching people with your hands because germs are bad these days. So wash your hands, wear your mask, stay inside if you're on lockdown. All right. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.